Hello friends, it's Kristie Marcotte. Paper Rose Studio has released several fun Valentine and love collections this year. In today's video, I'll be using the new Heartwood House collection. I have the 6x6 papers, but they're also available in 12x12, so if you prefer the larger size, that is an option. There are two paper packs that go with the collection. There's the Heartwood House and also Heartwood House Basics. I'll show you the Heartwood House collection first. I love the beautiful colors, lots of reds, pinks, and just a hint of green. It includes 18 double-sided pattern papers. There are several sheets that have fun image and sentiment cut-aparts. Several of the designs have full 6x6 images, but there are parts of those designs you could trim down to fit on a card. Here's another fun sheet with cut-aparts. They are on the smaller size in the 6x6 paper pad, so if you like the larger cut-aparts, you may want to try a 12x12 collection. You could also mix and match the two different sizes. Now I'll flip over the paper so you can see the designs on the back side. The little critter images in this collection are so cute. Here's a fun plaid, and I think this one may be my favorite. It's a stack of books tied up in a string with a heart on top. So there's a look at the 12 different designs included in the Heartwood House paper pack. Now let's take a look at the Heartwood House Basics paper pad. There are 18 double-sided sheets, just like the other paper collection. Now, both of the collections work fine on their own, but you can also mix and match them together since the colors and designs coordinate perfectly. The Basics collection doesn't include any cut-aparts, but there are lots of beautiful designs, and they are on the smaller scale since this is the 6x6 paper size. I'll flip them over so you can see the patterns on the other side. There are a couple of designs with diagonal stripes. There's the plaid, florals, birds. This is a cute design with all the small pink hearts. So there's a look at the 12 designs included in the Heartwood House Basics paper pad. It's a beautiful collection and I'm excited to make cards using it. I have 3 of the coordinating embossed die cut packs. There's also a cut apart pack available that I don't have. And if you want to take a look at everything that's included in the collection, I will have it linked in the description box below. So I'll start with the Heartwood House tags and tickets, and this is an embossed die cut pack. It includes 4 sheets of 6x8 embossed pop-out die cuts. So every single image and sentiment has that beautiful glossy detail, and there's no fussy cutting required. You simply pop out the different pieces, and after you pop out all the die cut pieces, you can use a pair of scissors or a craft knife to trim off the small white tab. I think it gives the die cut a cleaner look. The next embossed die cut pack is called Heartwood House. This one also includes 4 sheets of the 6x8 embossed die cuts. Lots of really sweet images and some sentiments, and the colors and designs match perfectly with the pattern paper. This set includes quite a few colored hearts in a variety of sizes, and I think these work perfectly as embellishments. I love the bicycle images with the basket filled with hearts. So there's a look at the 4 sheets. This is the original Heartwood House embossed die cut pack. Then I have 1 more. This is the Heartwood House Quick Cards die cut pack. These are the same die cuts that are included in the Quick Cards collection, but I like that they also sell them individually. This pack has several framed circle images, tons of sentiments on these little label pieces. There are also quite a few tags, labels, there's individual images, and some of them are very similar to what's included in the other embossed die cut packs, but they're not exactly the same. I love having a variety when I'm making my cards. If you are interested in any of the Heartwood House collection pieces, I do have links in the description box below. So now let's get started. I have 6 different card designs to share with you. I will be using some card sketches for inspiration. The first sketch is from Freshly Made Sketches. This is number 720. And if you are interested in the sketches, including measurements, I have all that information on my coordinating blog post. The link is in the description box below, or you can simply head over to KristieMarcotte.com. For my first card, I'm using this light peach and green plaid paper for the background. That piece is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches, and I'm layering it on some green cardstock, and that cardstock layer is an additional 1/8 of an inch. So 4 1/8 inch by 5 3/8 inch. For the smaller rectangle, I use the green heart and white polka dot piece. And for that cardstock layer, I also added an additional 1/8 inch. If I have leftover pattern paper scraps, those narrow strips, I like to put them on the inside of the card just for a little extra detail. Next, I'll add several of the embossed die cuts. And I will be popping them up using foam. This is the 1/4 inch foam roll from scrapbook.com in the 1 millimeter thickness. So it adds just that little bit of dimension. Now on the card sketch, there are 2 circles and then that vertical sentiment. I'm changing it up just a little bit. I'll be adding one of the postage stamp images and a small heart in place of the circles. And the sentiment is one of the label embossed die cut pieces, thinking of you. I'll also put foam dimension behind the sentiment, just not on the very left side since that area will sit on top of the postage stamp. And on the very right side where it goes off of the heart paper and that green cardstock piece, I'll add a foam piece and also a scrap piece of a thicker white cardstock. That way it stays at the same level. I'll remove the release paper from the foam, add some adhesive on that cardstock area, and adhere it on the right side of the postage stamp. Next, I'll add the heart in the upper right-hand corner of the postage stamp. In the area where it goes off of the stamp, I will add some foam pieces. I'll remove the release paper, then put glue behind the rest of the heart, and I'm using Barely Art glue. I always have the ultra fine metal tip on my bottle, makes it easier to get behind small die cut pieces. Now I'll adhere the heart in place. For a final finishing touch, I'm adding a green banner in the upper right hand corner of the heart paper. This is the same green cardstock I use for the background layers. The cardstock piece is 5/8 inch by 7/8 inch. I'll cut a fishtail on the bottom, then cut the right and left side in slightly at an angle. Now I'll put glue on the back and adhere it in place. So there is my finished card, and I did make 4 using this design. The first 2 cards feature the same pattern paper. For the other 2 cards, I use a floral pattern paper for the very background. The smaller rectangle is the green heart and stripe paper, and I added a different postage stamp and sentiment. Now moving on to card design number 2. The card sketch is from Cards TV. This is sketch number 50. For the background of my card, I selected the pattern paper with the flower bouquet in a heart shape. That piece is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. For the strip in the very center, I selected the red and pink diagonal stripe. For a little bit of separation and shine, I'll put a Love from Lizzie peel off along the edge of that diagonal stripe paper. I'm using the pinstripe style in white with gold overlay, and this is the narrowest width. Since I know I'll be adding other elements on the card, I'm using some of the scrap peel-off pieces. Those gap areas will be covered up with image boxes or other pattern paper pieces. I like to cut a little extra on the end of the peel off, that way I can wrap it around the back. Now I'll put adhesive on the back, layer this piece on some red cardstock, and that cardstock layer is an additional 1/8 of an inch. So 4 1/8 of an inch by 5 3/8 of an inch. I had a little extra border on one side, so I did trim that off. Now I'll add more adhesive. And of course I ran out of my ATG tape, so I had to get a new roll. Now I'll put my card front onto a card base, leaving 1/8 of an inch of the white card base showing. For the small rectangle piece on the left side of the card, I used the top portion of one of the pattern papers that just has this graph design with a distress look. I layered it on the same red cardstock. Before adhering it down, on the very left side, I'm adding a scrap piece of cardstock just in the area where it goes off of the diagonal stripe paper. That way it stays at the same level. I'll be adding one of the embossed die cut images and sentiments. The image will go on a stitched oval die cut, and the die set I use is from Paper Rose. Before adhering the oval down, I'll be adding those scrap cardstock pieces. About half of the oval will go at the bottom, and then just a small portion will go on the right side. There was a little bit of that scrap cardstock piece peeking out, so I did use a pair of scissors and trimmed off that extra. Now I'll put glue on the back, adhere the oval in the lower right-hand corner, and I didn't have it on very straight. Luckily the glue hadn't completely dried yet, so I do have time to readjust it. Now I'll add this sweet little image with the two bunnies holding a flower. Put glue on the back, adhere it on the oval. And for a sentiment, I'm adding Happy Valentine's Day. And I decided to pop the sentiment up using some small foam squares from scrapbook.com in the 1mm thickness. I'll remove the release paper and add the sentiment in the upper left-hand corner of the graph rectangle piece. For a final finishing touch, I grabbed a sheet of mini heart peel-offs from Love from Lizzie in the gold color. I'll add 3 hearts above the bunnies, 1 medium size and 2 small size hearts. So there is my finished card, and I did make 4 using this design. The first 2 feature the same pattern paper. For the other 2, I used the vine with hearts, the diagonal stripe paper in the center, and on one I put a bicycle image and the other is a little candy cart image with heart balloons. For card design number 3, the sketch is from Cards TV. It's sketch number 56. I selected the fun red, pink, and white plaid paper for the background. For the smaller rectangle paper, selected one of my favorite designs, the stack of books with the red heart and a red string. I'll layer both of these pieces on red cardstock, and the cardstock layers are an additional 1/8 of an inch. I'll adhere the book panel on the center of the plaid paper, put adhesive on the back, layer this piece on the red cardstock layer, then add more adhesive, place my card front onto a card base, leaving 1/8 of an inch of the white card base showing. If you prefer a wider border, I would suggest adding an additional 1/4 of an inch for that cardstock piece. The embossed die cut packs do include quite a few sentiments, but for this set of cards, I'm bringing in a different sentiment sheet pack from Paper Rose. It's their black and white card making sentiment sheets. It includes a wide variety of sentiments, many holidays, including Happy Valentine's Day. And I love that they have it with the white font on black or a black font on white. For this card, I'm using the white font on black. I'll cut a fishtail on the right side, and I will be popping it up with some foam dimension. Before I add the foam, I'll put a scrap piece of cardstock just on the very right side, since that's the area that will go off of the book and red cardstock layer. Then I'll put some black foam on the back. This is from scrapbook.com. It's their 1/4 inch foam roll in the 1 mm thickness. They have it in white and also black. On the left side of the sentiment, I'm adding one of the red embossed hearts. Before adhering it down, I'll be adding the cardstock or foam layers on the back side. So the very left side of the heart will go off of that book paper. I'll put a cardstock piece and also some foam. And then the right side of the heart, just the very top, I'll put a foam square. And the bottom area of the heart where it sits on the end of the sentiment, I'll add some glue. For a final finishing touch, I'm adding this pink and red heart banner. This is one of the embossed die cuts. To help it stand out against the book pattern paper, I'll also add a red cardstock banner about the same size, just a little bit longer. I'll adhere the red banner down first. Then I'll add a narrow scrap piece of cardstock on the right side of the red banner. Put glue on the back of the heart embossed die cut banner and adhere it slightly to the right of the red banner. So there is my finished card, and I did make 4 using this design. The last 2 cards are very simple. They don't really follow the design of the sketch. For the large image, this is a portion of one of the designs on the 6x6 paper, and simply put a sentiment underneath the image and then added 3 small gold hearts right above the 2 birds. For card design number 4, the sketch is from Cards TV. It's sketch number 58. For the background of my card, using the pattern paper with lots of the critter images. For the long, narrow piece on the left side, this is a pink distress looking design. At the very bottom, there's a little hint of a heart banner going across. For the smaller rectangle, using more of the graph distress pattern paper, layering everything on red cardstock, and all those cardstock layers are an additional 1/8 of an inch. I put the narrow pink strip on the left side of the critter pattern paper. I'll put adhesive on the back, add my card front onto a card base, leaving 1/8 of an inch of the white card base showing. Before adding the rectangle graph piece down, I'll put that scrap piece of cardstock on the right side. And I try to use cardstock or paper that's about the same thickness. That way everything stays at the same level. I'll put adhesive on the back and add the graph rectangle in place. And this is where I'll be putting the sentiment and images. I'll grab the small stack and sort tray from scrapbook.com where I have the embossed die cut pieces. And I will be popping all of them up using more of the small foam squares from scrapbook.com in the 1 mm thickness. I'll also pull out a few of the large foam squares to fill in this larger area with the vines and hearts. I'll remove the release paper, and I'm adding this vine piece at the very top of the graph rectangle piece. The very right and left side will slightly go off the edge of this graph panel, but not enough that I need to add extra foam or cardstock layers. Now I'll put foam dimension behind the word love, and I do need to add some of the half squares in those narrow areas. I'll remove the release paper, put the sentiment in the lower right-hand corner of this graph piece. Then I'll add 2 of the heart embossed die cuts. Put foam dimension on the back of the first one, adhere it in place, and I have that first heart leaning left. The second heart will go on top, leaning right. I'll put foam behind it, just not in the area where it overlaps that first heart. I'll remove the release paper, then add the second heart in place. For a final finishing touch, using more Love from Lizzie peel-offs, this is the mini heart style in white with gold overlay. I'm putting 3 of the medium-sized hearts in the lower left-hand corner. Trying to make sure they're on there nice and straight. So there is my finished card, and again, I did make 4 using this design. The first 2 cards feature the same pattern paper. The other 2 cards have the bunny images with a bicycle for the background, the pink and red heart panel on the left side, and I added different embossed die cut images and sentiments. I love the little heart garland pieces. For card design number 5, the card sketch is from Freshly Made Sketches. This is number 300. Now at this point in the video, I don't have enough pattern paper to use the same piece as the background, so this set of cards will have 4 different pattern papers featured. For this card, I'm using the pattern paper with the houses, there's a little bench, and a candy cart. For the larger rectangle piece, I used the peach and green white plaid paper, and that smaller rectangle piece, I used the green tone-on-tone heart and stripe paper. And I'm layering everything on some green cardstock. I'll attach the 2 small rectangle pieces together, and on the back side, I'll add a small sliver of scrap cardstock. That way, when I adhere it on the card, it'll be at the same level. Before adding those 2 rectangles, I'm putting a couple of Love from Lizzie peel-offs across the card. This is the pinstripe style in white with gold overlay. I'm using the widest and the medium width. I'll wrap the ends around the back, layer this piece on green cardstock, and my pattern paper piece is 4 inches by 5¼ inches. The green cardstock layer is an additional 1/8 of an inch. I'll put more adhesive on the back, add my card front onto a card base, leaving 1/8 of an inch of the white card base showing. Now I'll put adhesive on the back of the 2 rectangle pieces and adhere it in the upper right-hand corner, about 3/8 of an inch from the very right side. For an image and sentiment, I'm using one of the embossed pieces. It has the little house. There are 2 small ducks and a little bench covered in flowers, plus the sentiment, Happy Valentine's Day. To help it stand out from the busy background, I'll first layer it on some green cardstock. Before adhering it down, I'll be adding the cardstock and foam layers. The very right side of the sentiment piece will sit on the green heart and stripe pattern paper. On the very left side of the sentiment, I'll put some foam squares, and in the very center, the area where it sits on the plaid paper, I'll add a scrap piece of cardstock. I'll remove the release paper, put adhesive on the back, and adhere this sentiment and image in place. For embellishments, I'm using more Love from Lizzie peel-offs, this time the mini circle style in gold. I'll put 2 in the upper right-hand corner and 3 in the lower left-hand corner. So there is my finished card, and I did make 4 using this design. As I mentioned earlier, all 4 cards feature different pattern paper. One has the pair of birds, another one is the open window, and the last one is a girl and boy. I think they're exchanging a present with a heart. I also use different embossed images and die cuts for all 4 cards. For card design number 6, and this is my final card design, the sketch is from Cards TV. It's sketch number 68. This sketch is perfect if you just have some smaller scrap pieces of pattern paper you want to use up. I selected the pink and green diagonal stripe, the beautiful roses, and at the bottom, the light green with darker green hearts and white polka dots. I'll layer all 3 pieces on some green cardstock. For the background of my card, I'm using some banana paper from my stash. This paper has a very handmade feel, and there are banana fibers embedded within it. I cut that piece to 4 inches by 5¼ inches, and I will layer it on the same green cardstock, and this time I have that cardstock layer A2 size. I'll first add the 3 pattern paper strips, and before I adhered them down, I did place them on the card, that way I could get them evenly spaced. I started at the bottom with the green hearts, then the floral in the center, and finally the diagonal stripe at the top. Now I'll put adhesive on the back, layer this piece on the green cardstock, then add my card front onto a card base. This set of cards will feature 4 of the cut apart images and sentiments, and these are the larger ones, so they're 2 inches by 3 inches. I selected the little girl bunny holding some flowers, and the sentiment hugs and kisses is below her. I will layer this cut apart on the same green cardstock, and I decided I would pop it up using more foam. Grab the 1/4 inch white foam roll in the 1 millimeter thickness. I'll add pieces of foam around the outside edge, then cut a couple smaller ones, add them diagonally on the inside. I'll remove the release paper, but before adhering it down, at the very top of the diagonal stripe paper, I'm adding one of the vines with leaves, flowers, and red hearts. I'll put glue on the back, adhere it down. Now I'll add the little bunny cut apart image. I also grabbed a couple of the heart embossed die cuts, but changed my mind, felt that they were a little too big for this cut apart image. So instead, I'll add some of the mini heart gold peel-offs. 1 medium size and 2 small sizes, and I'll put those in the upper right-hand corner of the cut apart image. So there is my finished card, and I did make 4 using this design. 3 of them I used the green cardstock for the background layer, and 1 of them I used red cardstock. And they all feature a different cut apart image and sentiment. Some of the sentiments are perfect for Valentine's Day cards, others you could use as a love card anytime throughout the year. Now here's another look at the 24 cards I made using Paper Rose Studios' Heartwood House collection. I used both of the 6x6 paper pads. These are also available in the 12x12 size. I also used 3 of the coordinating embossed die cut packs. This is a beautiful collection. I love the images and colors. If you are interested in any of the products I used in this video, or you want to check out the rest of the Heartwood House collection, I do have links in the description box below. I will be using another Valentine collection from Paper Rose. This is their Love and Daydreams collection. So I thought I would show you a sneak peek in case you wanted to pick it up. This video will be coming very soon. I have both of the 6x6 paper pads, Love and Daydreams plus Love and Daydreams Basic, and 3 of the embossed die cut packs. This collection is super cute. I absolutely love the adorable critters. And I will add links in the description box for the new Love and Daydreams collection. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.